Welcome everybody to another episode of Books and Betches, not to be confused with Books and
Debutantes.
You did read the wrong book. I'm Kristen, and with me I have
Erica.
Maria. I don't even know where you're going with that, so I can't wait to hear. This is a book podcast. We swear we spoil. We talk about sex and we suck at it. We're doing a book this week. The book that we read is
you were just blazing through this.
A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by
Holly Jackson.
What'd you read?
The Good Girl's Guide to Murder. A debutante mystery.
Are you being so serious?
I'm so fucking serious. I read
Being dead ass.
a couple, maybe like 2 hours worth of this fucking
Shut
book
the fuck up.
before I was like, this doesn't seem like the same book that I'm supposed to read.
But what's so funny is that she's the one that offered up A Good Girl's Guide to Murder.
Oh my God.
It was my pick.
So what did you, how did this happen? Did you go on to Kindle? Like
I really wanted to listen to it. That was like my big thing is
Okay.
I wanted to listen to it. So I went on to Everand.
Formerly known as Script.
And you typed in,
And I typed in a good guy.
no, you typed in The Good Girl's Guide to Murder.
I might have typed in good guy, girl. Like I might not
They
have
might
like,
have
even
not
done.
had Holly Jack because I
That's
searched
what I'm
for it.
saying,
They
like,
didn't
I
have it
didn't-
on anything.
So you probably searched Good Girl's Guide to Murder.
And they brought the closest
The first
one.
one that came up was The Good Girl. Didn't even say Holly's name on there. You just saw Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This has to be it. And then you started reading it. What made you realize it was wrong?
So it was about like a debutante, like
Was it good?
Let's give us 6 seconds for the book that we didn't read.
Was it good?
it was like a girl who like was redoing like a kind of like a Paula Deen type characters.
Oh
like,
my God, this is amazing.
site and like website, and I was like, this doesn't feel like the book that I recommended.
By
And then
Suzanne McBride.
And then I
Susan.
and then I
Oh, it's got bad
Googled A Good Girl's Guide to Murder because I knew it was a TV show.
Yeah.
And I was like, this who, like, you know what I mean? I was trying to like match the characters, and I was like, none of these characters match. And I was like,
You know what's even better?
What?
The book you read came out in 2005.
Oh my God.
And it's number 2 in a series.
Oh my God. It gets better and better. Please keep it coming. It's got a 3.5 rating.
92 reviews. 971 ratings.
Did you read like a PDF?
Not even 1,000 ratings on a book that came out in 2005.
Oh my God. You know how on Everand it'll randomly bring up like a PDF?
Yeah.
Did you read a PDF?
that's what it feels like. But it had an audiobook.
This is crazy to me. Were you like invested into it though? Like were you into
No,
it?
I was like, this is fucking not that great. I'm like, what am I listening to? And that's why I was like, can I just watch the show?
Did you read the book that we actually had to read?
Yeah.
So you read The Good Girl's Guide to
Yeah,
Murder.
yeah.
A Good Girl.
I stopped
Sorry,
that
A.
one, and then I was like, oh, I got to read the other one.
Did you listen or read?
I read it.
Actually, we'll say the audiobook was great.
Yeah, because it's mixed media. So we had some podcasts. Well, not podcast, but you know.
Oh, I don't know if I would have liked that, so I'm glad I didn't.
See, that's why I liked it.
It
I
had
think.
like a full cast, but only when she was doing the parts of it that were her report.
Yes.
So if it was part of her chapter still in third person, it was still the same narrative, which I was like, if you already have a full cast.
I put this as my review, but I think that if I was in high school and I read this, I would have fucking loved it. I would have been like,
I think this is
sucks.
why it's such a beloved book.
But I think
Yeah.
it's because it mirrors the incredible story of like Heeman Lee and Syed.
I said that I literally messaged you guys when I first started reading this, and I said this feels like a fan fiction of Serial, of like their
which we all consumed
yeah.
heavily when it came out.
And I wonder if a little bit of that is inspired.
I think so. It feels too.
And then part of me is like, am I
Similar.
just saying that because of the ethnicity and like because like, yeah, the idea was that he murdered the girl, but he didn't like kill himself after or anything.
He
and,
was
like,
murdered after.
No. Saeed, whatever. What was his name? Saeed? Anad.
Yeah.
I don't think Anad wasn't murdered.
No, he went to jail.
He just got out.
He got out. But obviously, she can't have the exact same story.
Right. But, you know, it was kind of like leaning that way.
All right. Well,
Should we do the 60-second? Erica,
you the correct book.
You are slotted to do all 60 seconds today. So, like, do you feel like you can do this, even though you read the wrong book?
I think so.
Do you remember any of the characters?
Pippa?
Pippa's like get closer to the mic.
Who's Robbie again?
Robbie is Sal's younger brother.
Oh yeah,
Or
Sal.
older
that was
brother.
his name.
Sal.
Even it being like
Younger brother.
Sal versus like, I don't know. It's Anad. What's Anad's last name? Isn't it Syed?
Syed.
Yeah. So I don't know. It just seemed too similar. All right, Erica. If you're new to this podcast, we do this thing where we attempt to explain the entire plot summary of a book in 60 seconds or less. I cannot wait to see how this one turns out. This week, Erica's going to do
done so well today.
A Good Girl's
This
Guide to
one might
Murder,
be
which is now a Netflix show. We didn't mention that.
It is, and I was gonna start it, but I didn't hear good things, so I was like, I don't want it to like.
Yeah. Is that the consensus? People don't like it?
Well, there's one booktuber I follow who loves this book, and I guess she watched the first 2 episodes of it, and she wasn't happy. I didn't watch her video yet of her watching the series because again, I didn't want it to sway this conversation.
Sure.
So I'll probably watch it after this, but I haven't heard the best things.
Yeah, I watched the first 4 minutes and I hated it and I turned it off.
What made you hate it?
The characters are horrible and the way they're telling,
4
you'll
minutes.
see. You should watch it.
Okay.
It's not good though.
I'm picky.
It's almost you'll see. All right.
Wait, what's her name? Pippa?
Pippa.
In
It
60
was
seconds.
annoying because I kept thinking Peppa Pig.
A Good Girls,
Andy?
not the Good Girls.
Ravi.
Oh,
Andy's the girl that
This
died.
is
Yes.
a fucking nightmare. All right, Erica.
Sal is the boyfriend.
Here we go.
And there's Matt.
3,
and there's Becca's
2,
the younger sister. Yes,
1,
you got it. You got
go.
it.
Okay, so the book follows this girl Pippa who lives in this, I guess, kind of smallish town where there was like a horrible murder, like suicide situation that has like rocked the entire town. Everyone like still talks about it. It's like one of those things where like everybody just can't stop like thinking, talking about it, whatever.
That was a lot of
and
words.
the girl Andy dies. Her boyfriend shortly after kills himself because everyone thinks that he killed her. And so like the town kind of like
30 seconds.
ostracizes him. And Pippa is like convinced that he didn't do it. And she wants to like unsolve this murder or whatever. So she like investigates as much as possible. And eventually they find out that her older sister did it because she is like, I don't know, fucking pissed about getting sexually assaulted. And then I don't know. I don't really even understand her
You got
motive,
it.
but
I can
you
explain
you
that.
find out that it was
2,
her sister.
1.
You
Was it?
killed it. Yes, it was Becca.
Damn, I really
Younger
don't
sister.
remember. Oh, yeah. Because at first you're led to believe it was the teacher.
Yep.
Okay.
Because the teacher thought he did.
You did at the top there. You spent 30 seconds
But I do the same
saying
thing.
words, but not saying anything at the same time.
the
So
same
Pippa's
think it was okay.
assigned a project. So this
It's
is
like
all
her senior thesis, and
Yeah.
she's allowed
Yeah.
to pick a topic.
wild topic to be like, for my senior thesis, I'm going to solve a murder. Like that's
Yeah.
wild.
I think it's aggressive.
My teachers would have been like, no, you're not.
You can't do
What's
that.
funny is they came at her saying like you cannot contact anybody from it. There's ethical lines that you cannot cross, and she's like, for sure I won't cross them, but then
crossed
proceeds
all of
to
them.
cross all of them.
There was a dog in this book,
Oh yes,
and that killed me.
they killed the dog.
They killed the dog in this book.
Yep.
Not a fucking fan. Did not need to be written. I
Did not
understand
have
we
to
wanted
happen.
this like ominous being who did the real
Yeah.
murder to be like, but like that didn't even match.
But
in
like,
the
did
end.
she really kill the dog?
No, the
She
dog
didn't
got
mean
away.
to.
She didn't mean to because it got away.
She was trying to
and-
scare her. And let's start at the top, or at least with the characters. So Pippa is a lame character. I'm sorry. I don't know. Something about her. And I gave this book 4 stars for the record. Like I'm talking
What
shit.
did I give it?
But,
Also
like,
4 stars.
I didn't hate it. I listened to it on my walks.
It's more of a 3.5.
I said it in the last like 6 episodes. Listening to a book on my walk does something for me, and I enjoyed listening to it on my walk. A 3 that checks. Is this why? This is why.
This is YA heavily.
So Pippa, lame character, but it is what it is. She and Ravi, who is the brother of the accused, who also
Sal.
killed himself, that we think killed himself.
Correct.
Turns out he was also murdered. They've got a little bit of a romance.
Yeah, it builds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're working together to try to prove Ravi's innocence.
Mm-hmm.
So throughout this, we meet a lot of characters.
A lot.
There's a lot. It's your typical murder
A
mystery.
lot of red herrings thrown at you.
Yeah, a lot of like avenues. All of his friends were really shady. There's a teacher that was dating that girl.
It became
That's
the whole I
weird.
know what you did last summer type of shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it gave that vibe for sure.
And then like, so explain the end. Let's just like skip right to the
all
end.
right, here we go. So the end is basically after getting all of these clues, she's realizing that the person who is guilty in her eyes is actually Mr. Ward,
Yeah.
which is her best friend's dad. who's also a teacher at the school. So she confronts him and she's like, you have Andy locked in a house that you supposedly sold. Take me to Andy. Like, tell me why you did this. I called the cops. They're coming. Right. And
Crazy
he's like,
shit.
she and I had a relationship. I didn't want to,
Which
but
is
she
super
kind of
fucked
like,
up in general. Yeah.
she made me, and then she started like saying she could ruin me, and then I didn't mean to push her, but I pushed her. She fell. She hurt her head, and she started bleeding. But then she like ran away. Right. So he thinks that she died. Well, he thought that she died, but then a couple months later, he sees someone on the street and
Like
picks
on
her
drugs.
up on drugs, picks her up. It turned out not to be Andy, but for some reason he told himself it was Andy. Like he believed it was Andy when it wasn't.
Made the girl
So
believe.
another red herring. So then we're just like, wait, so then what happened to Andy?
Right.
So then as we continue, there's like this like festival that's supposed to happen. She's supposed to go to this festival, but she turns out going to see Becca instead. Becca is Andy's younger sister, who we get told earlier in the book that she really wanted to be like her sister at one point. Like she started copying everything about her sister. And we find out that essentially Max wants some other friend guy, a friend of Sal, basically was not date raping, but basically drugging girls at parties. And one of these girls is Becca. So the night that Becca told Andy this is what happened to me, Andy, who was at the time selling these drugs to Matt, it's a whole big cycle, it's very bad.
Yep.
Didn't care.
Yep.
And was like, whatever, no one gives a fuck, yada yada, suck, right? And they basically fight, and Andy falls back and starts convulsing because she already had a head injury from Mr. Ward, has an extra head injury and dies in front of Becca, and Becca did nothing to save her.
Yeah, Becca was crazy.
I think Becca was in shock. But
then she starts like stalking Pippa because she knows.
So because Pippa starts, investigating, she becomes this person that's like going after Becca, like, stop looking.
Yeah.
Stop looking. Let it go.
Right.
Right. And that's where it turns into like, we all think it's somebody else, obviously. Maybe Mr. Ward. Or
Right.
whoever truly killed Sal, which we find out Mr. Ward killed Sal.
Yes.
Because
so he's just as fucked up.
Yeah, he goes to jail.
Yeah.
But Mr. Ward has killed Sal because he thought it would get the heat off of him.
That's wild.
Which is, I think it was extreme.
What a fucking leap.
Extreme as hell. If you don't even have a body, there's no crime.
The whole thing was extreme. So unbelievable in so many ways.
You have to suspend your disbelief with this book. I think that's just, it's just one of those things. Like, it starts off like pretty believable in the sense like, okay, we're solving a murder-suicide type of thing. And then when you realize that she's trying to prove that Sal never killed himself or ever did it, but then the reason that Ward has for killing him makes no sense.
Right.
But essentially that's what it is. Our final bad guys are Ward killed Sal to protect himself from being implemented in Andy's murder. Person who actually murdered her was Becca.
Got it.
And I don't know what she did. Oh yeah, Becca took her body and basically like got rid of it.
Right.
Which, it's your fucking sister. Can you imagine killing your fucking sister and then dumping her body?
Never.
No.
But there are people that don't like their siblings. It's a thing.
Yeah, but like that, I don't know.
Next level.
I know.
So the audiobook almost felt like a podcast, like listening to a podcast, which gave me the Serial vibes.
It did.
But that was why I liked the audio side of it, because
Almost like also that other book we read.
I know what you're talking about, and
then none of this is true.
None of this is true.
Yes.
It felt very similar. Like, it felt like I was listening to a murder mystery podcast. And
Yeah.
the girlies love true crime, so
Yeah,
I guess
I
the
am one of those
timing.
girlies. I do love true crime.
It was good, not great.
yeah, I agree. It was okay.
I think there were moments where I was like, okay, all right.
Like I said, I would have loved it. As
I
a
guessed
kid.
it though. I
Did
guessed
you?
Ward and I guessed
Well,
Becca.
I guessed Ward, but I definitely didn't guess
I guessed Becca.
I don't know.
The minute the conversations were happening in the interviews that Pippa was having, saying like, oh, Becca wanted to be like her sister, started dressing like her sister, going to the parties like her sister. I was like,
Must have blacked
But
that out.
the rationale behind the killing, you would never have guessed. 'Cause it was
no,
so
but I knew she has to do.
circumstantial.
And then also when they find out when Andy's family finds out that she could be alive, when Mr. Ward has someone in the attic, they call them thinking that it's like, hey, maybe Andy is alive.
Right.
Pippa's passing the car in her car and sees the parents are devastated, like
Yeah.
with hope in their eyes, but Becca is like
Because at first,
That's
too,
not real. She dead. I killed her.
at first, too, you're meant to believe the parents are sus. Like
You're
the
meant
dad.
to believe the dad's a sus.
I thought maybe, I was like, oh, maybe he does have something to do with it. I thought maybe he would come in the end with like the suicide thing and he had something to do with that. I didn't think
Like
that was going to be all.
like killing Sal just to save himself thing.
Yeah.
It would make more sense.
There's some cool scenes.
the actual scenario wasn't really like Heyman, Lee, and Adnan.
No, not at all. A lot of it wasn't. It's just the overall, like, I don't know, idea.
Investigating a murder
Yeah.
in a hometown where like a
And
girl
it's-
dies and like
And you have to like remember it from years ago.
yeah,
And like
it's not really
the friends are all kind of like not being so
sus
truthful.
and, yeah,
That's what
like,
it all
everyone's
felt.
I didn't
kind
like
of
that
like-
side plot of
It was-
like the friends had he had an alibi. Like Sal was with them
Yeah.
that whole night.
But the scene was
Adnan
cool.
did too.
Yeah.
Did they rescind their alibi as well?
I
for
think
him?
the,
I can't
letter,
remember.
yeah.
No, the letter was the alibi.
And then it got rescinded, didn't it?
no, they just didn't. It was
Or they didn't take
It
it.
wasn't
that was,
admitted?
that's why he
Got out?
got out is because they didn't admit that evidence.
Yeah, there was like a
Like
whole
Oh.
his
sus thing.
lawyer like didn't do her job, and that's why he's out of prison.
Isn't that the craziest thing that when lawyers don't do their job correctly and you can just like lose an entire case?
I'm not
Yeah.
convinced he's innocent.
Okay.
And even if he is innocent, I think he's still involved. I think he
It's
knew.
so-
It's been a year since I've read this stuff, so I can't.
I think
I have
it's-
no fucking idea. Like
I think he
every
was
time,
involved.
Every time
Not
I convince
completely.
myself that he's innocent, and then I just circle back to something else that I'm like, maybe he's not.
He couldn't have been completely innocent because he admitted that he knew about. Didn't he admit that like his?
It's Jay that makes you think
Yeah.
that he is not.
I have to go
'Cause
back and
Jay-
re-listen to
'cause
Serial now.
Jay-
But didn't he?
I know, Sarah-
Didn't Anad himself admit knowing something? Like he like fucked something up in his evidence. Like he said something that everybody was like, "Well, this is how
In
you
an
know."
interview.
Yeah, there was something that he said, and I can't remember. It was either the cell phone tower
No,
or
it's
like
that he didn't know where he was at that time.
So you had no
but
true alibi.
that wasn't enough because it was so long ago. So like it was.
He
it
didn't
is-
have an alibi.
But no, there was another thing that he said that everybody like hones in on, and is like if he didn't kill her, he knew
Something.
No,
he knew
it was
something.
Jay. It's all of Jay's. Jay is like the doubt, because Jay was like, we went and like looked at like
I know, but there
something
was
about like
something-
digging up some shit and like
I remember that,
and
and people were like, "Oh, but Jay's just a
Adnan-
liar." But then
like there was like a whole like drug thing too involved with it, where like
Drug things in this too.
Jay was involved
True.
involved with something. They had like drug dealers trying to like get him from his job. Like it was like there's a lot of moving parts and none of it makes sense. But the Adnan case, the boyfriend at the time worked at Sunglass Hut and his mom owned it. So his mom was his alibi.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. Adnan allowed Jay to borrow his car the day of the murder. Also, Adnan activated his cell phone the day before Hay's murder, and he asked Hay for a ride that day despite having his own car. And the timing of the breakup with Hay and Adnan, and Hay, I'm reading off of Reddit post, starting to date Don in the breakup letter, that was like too conspicuous. And then Adnan's cell phone calls while supposedly at the mosque. He doesn't have an alibi. That's a big one. He doesn't know where he was. There's like a lot of stuff.
I'm gonna
There-
go back
there
and
is a
re-listen
good
to
amount.
Serial.
There's enough for me to be
And-
like,
and watch the
yeah,
documentary
I don't
again.
know. He at least knows something.
enough to be. Here's the thing: you're innocent until proven guilty. I don't think they proved him guilty.
That's
And
the
that's
whole
where
thing.
it comes down to.
So-
The trial wasn't fair, and that's
Yeah.
just what it comes down to. He should absolutely be like, if they fucked the trial up. That's
Yeah.
that. And there was a lot of things.
It's crazy
that were,
how long it took for them to fix it, though.
Yeah, but like this book, I felt like, what was the guy who was killed himself? Well, got
Sal.
murdered. Sal didn't have like a fighting chance. Like he wasn't able to prove his innocence.
No, he was killed from the
no,
jump.
it sucks.
That
Which,
was a
like-
wild twist too. The fact that he wasn't actually dead. I mean, I think we knew going into
Poor
it,
guy.
but yeah.
But I believed from the jump that he didn't do it.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, obviously, like it would be weird if
It's like, there's no way Pip was going to
did
lose this.
all of this work
Yeah.
just for him to actually. But then that was my theory, was that his brother
Robbie.
But
Robbie.
like, why was she fucking around with Mr. Ward, when she had a boyfriend?
Well, she's not
They
perfect.
also painted her to be this like shitty person,
Super shitty.
which I kind of don't care for either. Because then
Yeah.
it sort of erases the gravity of it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, if she's dead, I guess I don't care.
Right.
She kind of gave. Do you remember what's her face from Vampire Diaries?
Caroline?
No, the sister of Damon turns her into a vampire, and
Vicky.
She gave me Vicky
Okay.
vibes,
I think Vicky was nicer than Andy was.
but like
But yeah,
kind of like a deadbeat, druggy, like not.
Yeah.
Not
Cares too much about her image.
like people weren't like heartbroken about her like death like
Right.
type thing. They were
Right.
just kind of like, all right, Vicky's dead.
Right.
That makes sense.
Got it.
Spoiler.
If you haven't watched
It's
Vampire
season one.
Diaries about this
Season
at this point,
one.
Still on
episode, like,
season one.
6.
I'm still on season 1.
if
You
you
passed this part.
Yeah, I'm done with.
Yeah, okay.
I'm never gonna watch it.
if you haven't watched Vampire Diaries at this point,
It's the last CW show that was actually good.
Was that CW?
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
Legacy was not that bad.
I didn't watch Legacies. I watched the originals.
What the fuck is Legacies?
It's a spin-off of originals.
Klaus's,
It was a spin-off of,
Klaus's daughter.
Oh, I remember Klaus. Klaus is sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I mean, what else is there to say about this book?
I think it was a lot of twists and turnies.
I don't know why they made it into a TV show.
Again, is
TV show is British, by the way. I think. Am I wrong? I might be wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong.
It felt like feels like a British show.
I mean,
British
Pippa sounds like a British
It
name.
felt-
It's based in Fairview. It's basically Fairfield.
yeah.
They mentioned
I did.
Connecticut.
No. I wanted to talk about this.
Okay, go.
They fucked everything up Connecticut wise. Did I write this down? I might have wrote it down.
But I think I don't think she meant it for it to be truly Connecticut.
No, because she kind of did.
I mean, she calls it Fairview. It's Fairfield.
Okay, here I did write something down. Set in
Fairfield?
Connecticut. So they should have just called Fairview Fairfield. I wrote that.
Yeah.
Considering they used other names. They used like Norwalk or
They
something.
used Norwalk. They used going to the city, taking the Metro North to the city.
So if you're going to use other names,
just use it.
just use
the
it.
town.
And then the area code that they said was 425. And I was like, 425 is not an area code. Just say 203 or 806.
But again, she probably just doesn't want to actually. Maybe Fairfield is her inspiration.
Yeah.
But she wanted to make her own.
And then you
city.
said all the towns surrounding it. But you know what? That's like Stars Hollow and Gilmore Girls. They call it Stars Hollow, but they say New Haven. They say Yale. Like
Exactly.
So 100%. You're absolutely right. It just pissed me off that the
It bothered
area
me
code,
too.
the area code wasn't 203 or 806.
I don't care about the area code because
I do. Stay true.
I'm not from there. I don't have that area code.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What else is there to say?
It was fine.
It was fine.
I want to circle back to the fact that I don't think it should have been a TV show.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's because it had people in a chokehold. It's like it's the true crime Hunger Games type of thing. Like all the YA kids loved it.
I know, but it's just so like finite of a
It is a
storyline.
British show. It says BBC.
You know what I mean? Like it's so finite of a story. Like it
No,
ends
there's more
with the
books.
murder. There's
There's
more books?
There's more books.
What the fuck is in the other books?
Wait, what?
Yeah. We're not going to read it.
Guess what? A Good Girl's Guide to Murder is a British television series. That's why I didn't like it. Like genuinely, like British TV, unless it's Doctor Who,
Oh, I like British TV.
it depends on what it is. Like it feels like they're trying to be skins.
Okay, so the second one's called Good Girl Bad Blood.
Click on it.
I'm clicking.
What could it possibly be
Wi-Fi
about?
runs fast. Pip is not a detective anymore.
We
With
have
the
the
help of
fast
Robbie
Wi-Fi.
Singh, she released a true crime podcast about the murder case
Oh
they
my
solved
God.
together last year. The podcast has gone viral. Yet
It's called
Pip,
Serial.
hold on. Yet Pip insists her investigating days are behind her, but she will have to break that promise when someone she knows goes missing. Jamie Reynolds has disappeared. On this very same night, the town hosted a memorial for the 6th year anniversary of the deaths of Andy Bell and Sal Singh. The police won't do anything about it, and if they look for Jamie, then Pip will. If they won't look for Jamie, then Pip will uncovering more of her town's dark secrets along the way. And this time, everyone is listening, but she will find him. But will she find him before it's too late?
That's kind of a spoiler.
When did that come out?
What is a spoiler?
Him?
Jamie?
Will she find? Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Dude, Erica didn't even listen at all. What
I didn't read it well. I was stumbling a lot.
what year did this come out?
This book 2 came out in 2020.
Okay, so it's fairly
Book
new.
1 came out
Is it just those two? They're not making a third, right?
in 2019. She has others, I think. Hold on.
Man,
So there's a
that's-
third one. As Good as Dead is number
on.
3.
Come on.
I won't read it. Hold on.
I want to know.
the finale of Good Girls Guide to Murder series. By the end of this mystery series, you'll never think of Good Girls the same way again. I hate this whole good girl thing. I really don't
God.
like it.
What is it? Read it.
Okay. Yeah, the stalker.
Oh.
Surprise, surprise.
Really just had to
Pip
drag
is about
out.
to head to college, but she is haunted in her by the way of her last investigation ended. I won't say more in case there's like spoilers in here.
That's crazy.
That's so fucking stupid.
I did not think there'd be 3 books of this. No wonder they made it a TV show.
Nobody.
They can
likes
milk it for multiple seasons.
This came out in 2021.
You think book 1 will be season 1, or will book 1 be season 1 and 2, and then book 2 will be 3 and 4? And
If it's anything like what TV's like these days, everything's a prologue.
I haven't heard good things about it yet, so maybe it'll get canceled. We'll see.
I mean, it's BBC. I don't know.
Go ahead and watch the first episode and let me know what you think.
Let us know if you were a fan of this book when it came out. I know we were kind of quick on it. It just feels pretty like self-explanatory.
I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I think I don't think I care for Pippa as a character.
Yeah.
She gave me Vicky vibes.
That's
and
what
I
I'm
just
saying.
Not
didn't-
even Vicky. She just gave me like annoying vibes.
Yeah, annoying.
Vicky's Andy. You said-
Oh yeah. That's
Robbie
right,
was
that's
cool. I liked him.
I thought Robbie was cool. I liked
Ooh,
Robbie's
who's Pippa?
storyline.
She did remind me of somebody, but I can't think of who.
You know what I thought it was? I thought it was too cliche. Oh my God, all I care about is schoolwork. I'm like such a goody two shoes. Like,
right.
I love homework. You know?
Yeah.
It just didn't feel like she had any other depth besides that.
She pissed me off so much with the dog. Why are you out? You know somebody's fucking following you.
Yeah.
Why are you
Why
out
would you
at
be
night?
out off leash?
At night in the woods.
Yeah.
In the fucking
In the woods that they
woods.
found Sal's body.
That's the most bullshit thing ever. And then the dog goes missing, and you're like obviously you literally got your dog killed. Her.
The dog just died by accident.
Well, no, because
Becca stole the dog.
Becca stole the dog and was going to use it as leverage, and then it went into a ravine and drowned.
in a river and
we did
drowned.
not need that.
I didn't like it one
That
bit.
was not
I thought for
necessary.
sure he was going to come back alive.
Unless like she actually killed it, then that made it seem like she was
What
the
I
ultimate.
said, when that happened in the book, I said, if anyone touches my dog, I'm going to jail.
yeah, and like
I'm going to jail. Cuff me now.
like that was enough. Like give the dog back after. Like okay, you're an asshole. That's enough for me. But
You
for
saw her destroy the stuff. Let the dog come out.
So for her to like let it get killed, they were trying to make her seem like the ultimate bad guy. Fine, but like have her be the one to kill it. Then she's the ultimate bad guy.
Yeah.
But for her just to like it accidentally
Like,
died,
oops.
She was like,
it didn't need to happen.
she didn't really kill her sister either. Like, it
No,
was
she
just kinda
let her
like-
sister die.
She's
Just like she
she
let the
disposed
dog die.
She's disposed the body though.
just horrible choices.
I fuck this.
I think she put her in some kind of like.
You're moving it back down to it too.
Yeah, the more we talk about it,
Yeah, the more we talk
less
about it,
I
it
like
sometimes-
it.
with books.
I'm at a 3 territory.
me too.
There were parts of it where I was like, "Ooh, that's kind of cool."
It moves quick. If you
It
listen
moves
to
quick.
it, yeah,
It was a fast,
entertaining.
read. There are the parts of it where I saw
You
was
gave
coming.
it an extra star because it was a walking book.
Yes.
Yeah, I gave it an extra star because it was a driving book.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
It
it,
was like,
it
it's a
does.
car alive.
It makes like whatever you're
Fucking
doing
words.
go by. Like you're
I also
invested.
like extra points because of the full cast.
Yes, I
I
agree.
like when I had different voices.
I agree. All right, that's it for a good.
It's like a 3.5. I'm bumping up to be nice.
Here's my only advice: if you're gonna read or listen to this book, make sure you look up A Good Girl's Guide to Murder and not The Good Girl's Guide to Murder.
know what?
True.
How do you know the debutante wasn't the better one?
I kind of want to read it
Can you
now.
let us know if it
Yeah,
was?
you
You
know
read
what?
the first
Maybe
half.
I'll fucking
Do
will.
it. Do it.
Yeah?
Do
Maybe.
it. Do
Okay.
it. Maybe.
Maybe read book
Maybe.
1 instead of book 2.
Well,
That's the
Marty-
funniest part. Like you
Well, I
just.
think it's a companion book. I don't think it's like an actual
I
continuation.
wonder what the first one is.
I don't know when that came out.
How the fuck do you end up
I don't
having
know.
2 books with the same name?
2005.
How do you not look up like, oh, this fucking Good Girl's Guide to Murder is
Well,
already?
the good girls and a good girl.
Because
Still.
I'm fucking lazy and I didn't like look up
Not
the app.
you.
Not you,
I'm
it's-
talking about the author. Like, why did the author not see that and be like, this is too close? Like,
Also, there
Good
was no
Girl's Guide to
the
Murder is the
You
stupidest.
didn't guide us to any murder.
It's just a bad name. It's a bad name. All right. If you want to follow us on Instagram, just look up books_n_Betches, BETCHES. Follow us there.
The later we go.
I know, we gotta go to bed. I'm sorry. I gave it fucking 4 stars. So there you go. Obviously,
just
I
tired.
didn't hate it. We're just
tired.
Thank you so much for being here. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye. Bye. Have a great night.